Hey there folks, this is Random Game Channel, here to do a little bit of a game review for all the games I've played in my Roguelike-lite and Bullet Hell Heaven Adjacent Game Appreciation Series, or RABHAGA for short. Alright, so these aren't going to be super in-depth. I just want to go over some of the things I liked, disliked, and say something like, recommended or something like that. Alright, so here we go. They're going to start in the order that they appeared for the month of October. First one being Wander Stars. Like an anime-inspired game. It really does play just exactly as it's advertised. An anime show or movie that you can actually play. Now they have a lot of little Easter eggs, like for example, stuff from like the 90s, early 2000s, like Dragon Ball Z, Yusuke, Kira's bike scene when they do that little grind to a halt thing and it's like sideways, that kind of stuff. So if you're a fan of like the older animes, want to check it out at least for that, just to check out those Easter eggs. Gameplay wise, it's really easy to pick up and play. It's not too hard to figure things out. And the story so far, I've gotten to episode 2, Act 1, and the story is really good. And I don't want to spoil anything, but if you're looking for something that's easy to pick up and play, has good story, and you like anime, then if you checked off any of those boxes, then it's kind of a must-try. The other stuff I want to mention is that it's the gameplay itself. It's like a deck builder game, very similar to Slay the Spire and the 5 More Minutes demo that I played for this channel. So if you haven't played this kind of game before, you're essentially building up a kind of like a deck almost of words. And when you play a word, it goes on a cooldown, and you gotta kind of like balance between how many words you play, offensively, defensively, how many items you can play. So it's like kind of a lot of intricate little details like that kind of help make it stand apart from like Slay the Spire, because like Slay the Spire is actually a legitimate deck building game. This is more of a word bank building game, but the closest kind of like example would be to say that it's a deck builder. Alright, so the other thing I want to mention is that the art, the sound, and the music, it's really good. And if you're feeling like, nostalgia for anime of the past, from a long time ago, then you definitely gotta, take a look at the game. And, it kind of gave me a lot of flashbacks about stuff I watched when I was a kid. So a lot of good memories came out of it so far. And, man, I'm really digging the art. And if you do have like the extra income, I totally recommend buying the soundtrack and the little art book. It's got a lot of nice little bits in there. The music's really good. It does feel very anime inspired, even there. So for Wander Stars, would I recommend it or would I not recommend it? Well, I really enjoyed playing the game and I totally recommend it. Easy to pick up, easy to play, and it's just like playing an anime. Okay, moving on to Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. A lot of people are playing this game. It's also easy to pick up, but it's also very challenging to master, at least for me, because when you get to the higher difficulty levels, the bugs do increase in difficulty. So I'm sure like the right setup with enough meta progression, the right builds, enough RNG is in your favor, you could probably run through the higher difficulties no problem. For me, I haven't really gone too far in like the meta progression yet. The only thing I've done so far is just to beef up the mining speed. I figure that's something important. But for the gameplay itself, unlike some of the other Bullet Hell Heaven games I've played before, the power-ups in this game actually do feel empowering the longer that you go through a run. So I think that's pretty important for these type of games. Like I've definitely played games before where like the longer you play it, the less or same power level you feel at the start of the run, right? So you don't want to play that kind of game, but you do want to play this one because the power-ups do feel empowering. So the other thing about this game, it's got a lot of dwarves, and they curse a lot, and they talk a lot of crap, especially about the bugs. So if you find that's pretty cool, then check it out. And they got some really cool voice lines. So I'm always kind of chuckling inside when I hear these little dwarves talk crap. Alright, the stages and the difficulty. Well, there's a lot of different stages, and the difficulty for each stage, there's a lot to choose from. So I don't think you'll get too bored with this. It might get a little boring at the start when you're just trying to like grind your way to level up to get to the next difficulty level. That might be a little bit boring, but like once you get through those initial like grinding fest, I'm pretty sure you'll be having a lot of fun. As for the meta progression, there's a lot of things to choose from. It does feel a little grindy trying to get all the resources to buy all the perks and stuff, but that's part of the gameplay loop. A lot of these kind of games have that kind of thing going for it, and this one isn't like too egregious. It's attainable. Oh, but before I move on, they do have like a new game mode that's called like I think it's like escort, where you gotta escort this big drilling rig, and it's a very linear gameplay loop. So if you're looking for something like that, where it's more linear, I think you want to try that out. Though you do have to like level up a little bit before you can like get to the escort mission. But this one's interesting because at the end of the stage, you gotta defend the drilling rig, and then you'll be like attacked by waves and waves of different bugs. You got these like claw-like projectile thingies all over the place. It's kind of really busy, but it's really fun. I kind of like this game mode a little bit more than like the regular one because it's more of a linear approach. But each their own. Some people say hey, some people say hey, that's not great, but hey, that's up to you. You must experience it for yourself. So yeah, that's Deep Rock Galactic. Great gameplay, art is good, doesn't look janky, and the music's really good, though it could be a little loud. HoloCure, Save the Fans. So this one's really great if you are in like the VTuber HoloLive like fandom, if you're like in that circle already, and this is like a no-brainer for you to try out. Easy to pick up, easy to play. Several months ago they did have a free update. Well, first of all, this is a free game, and none of the updates have been paid. So if you want to save money, you want to play something really good, this is the game you want to play. Everything's for free. But they had a gameplay mode that they added that had like a bunch of like mini games and stuff, platforming. They even got a fishing game, like, you know, every game kind of has one of those, you know, things, right? But it's worth checking out. Just kind of helps mix up the gameplay. But this is primarily a I forget which one was which, but it's like one of the bullet hell heaven game where you're the one that's shooting out all the projectiles. So it's that kind of game primarily. It does have some meta progression. It does take a little bit of gold coins to purchase all of them, but you know, the grind shouldn't take too long, especially if you can complete a stage. Each stage is like 30 minutes, and the stage, they don't have any crazy mechanic. It's just, yeah, drop down there, you know, smack around a couple of things and fight the boss. So yeah, if you do want to watch, like, you know, more content outside of my own channel, I only done a little bit for this game so far. But if you want to watch more, and check out my friend's channel, Mezzing Around. If I remember, I'll add their YouTube link in the description of this video. So check them out. You know, watch your videos, like, comment, subscribe. You know, help them out. They're a small channel like mine. So yeah. But Mezzy, he's played a lot of this game, like a lot, and he's the channel that I saw that got me interested in this game. So yeah, lots of fun. I think it's only single player though, so you can't really play it with other people. As far as like the weapons and like the perks, the power-ups in this game, there's a lot of unique weapons, and it feels pretty empowering the longer you go in a run. And once you like max level certain pairs of like weapons, you get a chance to do what they call a collab, where you can combine the two to make a totally new weapon that's like really strong. And you can do it multiple times in a single run. So if you want to play a game that will let you just like rip and tear apart pixels really easily, this is the game you want to play. A ton of VTubers make an appearance in this game, so that's also something that you might want to check out, you know, if you are into the VTuber stuff. I'm not too well versed in that sphere, but a lot of people are. And this is a very popular game. Lots of positive reviews on Steam too. As far as like the graphics and the music goes, it's pixel graphics. It's pretty catchy. I like it. When I first started playing this game, the music, I just couldn't get it out of my head. It's very nice. Yeah, that's HoloCure Save the Fans. Moving on to Vampire Survivors, the game that people said that started this whole bullet hell heaven roguelite genre, and then things just evolved from there. So with this game, you know, it's very cheap, single digit, less than, you know, less than 2 digits when you want to look at it. I forget the exact price, but USD, I'm pretty sure it's like below 5. And the expansions are also super duper cheap like that. There's a tons of expansions for this game, and each expansion has a ton of different stuff in it. Even on the base game itself, there's a lot of like different stages to play on, a lot of secrets and stuff to unlock, you know, more stages, more characters, and that's just in the base game itself. And each expansion expands upon that, and each of the stages usually has their own secret things to unlock. So if you're looking for something cheap, that'll keep you busy for a long time, you can do this. So yeah, like I mentioned, they have a ton of different characters, and each character feels unique and different from each other. Like each character has like their own starting weapon. So if you're looking for variety, this is also something to consider playing. It's also like a pixel graphic kind of game, and the music's very, very good. My favorite one is Heart of Fire. Just can't get that out of my head every time I play. Also, with this game, depending on the stage and the character you select, it can be very, very challenging to complete it. But don't let that stop you, even if it's like, um, something that you have to bash your head against a little bit. Uh, it's just cheap to pick up and it's worth a try. But I'm pretty sure if you try it out, you won't be disappointed. So it's easy to pick up and start to play, but what can also be challenging is finding all the secrets and stuff, and some certain stages are like just hard to play on. So yeah. Let's see, next thing I want to mention is that with this particular game, you can actually do a lot of different, like, make it yourself gameplay challenge videos. Like, for example, my friend Mezzing Around, I mentioned him earlier. He's currently going through what he calls the Beswick challenge. He made it himself. It stands for beating every stage with every character. And he's been working on this for I think at least 2 years now. He's almost done. So big kudos to him for finishing. We're talking about like hundreds of thousands of like stages that he has to complete in total, because like every character, right? So you can do stuff like that. You can make your own kind of gameplay challenge, like I did. Mine's kind of a knockoff on his series, but I, for one, am very interested in like playing as Po Ratcho, the slowest moving character with the weakest starting weapon, the Garlic. It's got like an AoE that pulses damage and it's pretty weak, and then when it gets to mid and late game part of the stage, it starts to fall off and just ends up not being able to do enough damage. So I thought to myself, hey, this would be kind of cool. I'll make your own gameplay challenge where like I try to take Po Ratcho through every stage and try to beat it. So you can do things like that. You can kind of mix and match gameplay challenges. You can make your own. A lot of different meta progression stuff that you can turn on and off to make the game feel even more difficult or easier. So lots of little options like that, and you do feel very empowered the longer that you can go through a run, especially if you can evolve weapons and get multiple of them to kick off. So evolving weapon just means you max level a weapon and then you level it up one more time to turn it into this super powerful Uber mode, right? So yeah, that's Vampire Survivors. It's definitely worth trying. Very, very popular. A lot of people love that game. Risk of Rain 2. This one's also super popular. Lots of people, just can't stop putting this game down. It's been out for years. However, when you first start, it can be pretty intimidating and challenging to play. This isn't an easy game to really pick up and play at the start. You kind of need to do a little bit of research to figure out, the best way to do the gameplay loop, how things work, because not a lot of it is explained in the game. So if you're looking for a bit of a challenge, go ahead and do that. You can try it out. It is, I think, about 25 bucks USD, but this game and like all the other games in this RABHAGA series do go on sale quite often. So if you're on the fence about it, wait until there's a big sale on Steam and then you can get it like super duper cheap. Alright, well, what else was I gonna say? Oh, right, yeah, so if you don't have a lot of time to sit down and play, I don't think this is the game you want to play because, or at least not play until you have a good, you know, at least a couple hours to dedicate to it. Because you gotta progress through several different stages to get to the end, fight the big bad boss. And then that'll take a bit of time, and then once you do beat it, you have the option to loop back to the beginning, start over, and just keep powering up. And you can like do it kind of like infinitely. And if you're into that kind of thing, then maybe this is the game you want to try out. But if you're always kind of short on time, maybe this isn't the game you want to like invest too heavily in. But I'll leave that up to you, because each their own. I'm just kind of sharing my experiences of what I thought. So with this game, the longer you go in a run, the harder the enemies become. They get beefier, they get healthier, they just become chunky. For the characters themselves, they're all unlocked in very, very specific challenges. Usually it means you have to go find a teleporter, go into a certain area, or you have to do X thing to unlock X character. So that can be kind of overwhelming if you're starting out new. I'm feeling that right now, and it's very overwhelming, and I think maybe you just take things one at a time. There is a wiki for this game that has a lot of explanations on it, but sometimes it's not very good. It's kind of crappy in some aspects because it just kind of reiterates kind of like what you see in the game, like go do this to unlock this. Like, well, it doesn't really explain how to do it all the time. You also got YouTube that you can look up, so if you're feeling lost, you can always do that too, you know, do a little research. As far as the gameplay though, it's pretty fun once you kind of like get in the groove of things. It's like a third-person shooter kind of perspective. The items you pick up are all randomized, so sometimes you can kind of get just garbage stuff, or sometimes you can get like really good things and you feel like super empowered. This game is also kind of like a risk-it-all kind of gameplay loop. You either end it when you get to the end, or you loop it back to the beginning and then you start the whole process again. You know, collecting the loot, beating the bosses. Some people get a really big kick out of it, but I don't think that's really for me. I don't want to play the same thing for too long. I get super tired. So for this game also, I want to mention that there's like no meta progression, at least none that I know of. Like there's no thing where like you can spend a resource to get a perk or anything like that. I don't really see that in this game. So this one, you can do co-op for up to 4 players. I did forget to mention that for Vampire Survivors, you can do co-op up to 4 players as well. So yeah, if you're really interested in long, very long, potentially long gameplay loops, then Risk of Rain 2 might be the game you want to try. Next one is Rogue Genesia. This is extremely easy to pick up and play. You don't even need to plan for a build. Unlike, Risk of Rain 2, you kind of want to have a general plan of what you want to do and stick to it. For this game, you can just be like me and build garbage. Even with a garbage build, you have a pretty good chance to making it to the end of the run. Now, I haven't unlocked all the difficulty stages yet. I think I'm like 75 to 80% of the way there. But, what I've found so far is that it's pretty fun. You don't need to do a meta build or anything like that. That's not this kind of game. You can kind of, mess around, fart around a little bit, and you'll be okay. So there's two ways to play this game. You can go through kind of like a Slay the Spire type of map progression where you're presented with options, these nodes that you choose to go into and fight until you reach the very end where the boss is. Or you can go into endless mode where you just survive as long as you can. And there's actually a character unlock associated with endless mode. Like if you can get to day 3 on endless mode, you actually can unlock another character to play as. And each character has their own kind of stat distributions and their own little passive perks that make them a little more unique. And to unlock some of these characters, you just need, do certain tasks within the game. Can't remember it off the top of my head, but one of them is you gotta find this cow skeletal bone, and then you follow the trail to unlock one character. And another one is I can't remember the exact details, but you gotta have multiple weapons equipped or something like that. It's been a while. So I unlocked all of them except the one that's associated with the endless mode. But for most of these characters that you could unlock, you could just do completely random crap and you'll just end up unlocking them. That's how I did that with a lot of the gameplay I did. I just did random crap and I eventually unlocked a majority of them. So don't worry about something being too much of a challenge. In this game, it's quite easy to, get up and going. There's one thing about this game though, is that as you're playing it, the screen can get filled quite a bit. It can get quite noisy, both visually and auditory. So if you do have difficulties of being overwhelmed with tons of visuals and noise, you might want to think about this game if you want to play it or not. Just from an accessibility point of view. I know some people get thrown off by that. If there's too much stuff going on, right? So I just want to throw that out there just in case you do have some stuff going on for that. As far as how long it takes to get to the end of a run, it kind of depends on your speed. If you're super duper fast, it sometimes takes 30 minutes to 45 minutes or up to an hour, hour and a half. I mean, the gameplay loop isn't too fast. There's no looping in any of the standard stages. The only thing that goes on forever until the end of time is the endless mode, until you die or something. And, yeah. So, for each, difficulty tier in this game, you can do meta progression for each of them. So there's A, B, C, D, E, and then F, 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 then or something like that, and it's S rank, SS rank. I think SS rank is supposed to be the hardest one. That's if I'm remembering the order right, but you kind of get what I'm saying. each tier of difficulty has its own set of like perks that you can invest in. So it can get a little grindy to unlock everything, but you know, most of those things aren't really necessary. You can just play it without unlocking anything and you'll do fine. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about it. I mean, like the art is also pixel graphics. A lot of these games are going to be pixel graphics, and the music in here it's pretty catchy. I dig it. It's kind of a one-track vibe, though. So if you want to listen to different music tracks in the game, you're kind of out of luck. But for this one, I always have a lot of fun playing this one. It's just something I can like chill to when I don't want to like, you know, think too hard about gaming. So if you want something easy to play, Rogue Genesia would be something to try out. Mortal Sin. This one's actually pretty recent. The first thing I do want to throw out there, though, is that, man, if you have any kind of like a visual issues with like psychedelic colors, kind of like the best way to describe it almost, then this probably isn't something you want to check out. I mean, you can check out the gameplay video, but just be careful. The colors can be pretty flashy, and it can be overwhelming sometimes. The graphics kind of remind me of like the old Doom graphics, you know, when it was like a game for the very first time back in like what, the early 90s or some crap like that. However, there is an option, accessibility option, for you to like change the colors out. I don't mess around with it too much, but that's something to consider. Also, the gameplay challenge for this game is very, very challenging. It's heavily skill-based, and it kind of does feel like a Souls game to some degree. So if you're a fan of like, you know, Soul-like games, then this might be something you want to play. I can't really play it too much because I keep dying at the same spot over and over. So I don't know, I just can't seem to get a good grasp for it. But I'm sure a lot of people who play this are a lot better at it than I am. So yeah. As far as this game goes, I don't see any kind of meta progression, at least not at the stage that I'm at with the game. I must have played at least like 10 to 12 games so far, runs so far for this game. And so far I haven't really seen any kind of like skills and buffs and perks and stuff you can buy. Like outside of like buying an initial set of like gear for your loadout, that's about it. But you know, that's like RNG still. Another thing I want to mention is like sometimes there's a portal that you can take and you have to like do some platforming. And if you mistime your jump, most of these stages, or you know, these mini stages, will either take away a random item or some other negative thing. And the platforming jumping controls for this game feel a little janky. Does take a little getting used to like time the jumps right. So that's just something I want to throw out too. It's not perfect, but it's doable to some degree. So for this game, I'm still kind of like on the fence about, you know, if I want to keep playing this one, because it feels too hard for me to master. It's like, I don't know what else I am doing wrong, because I get to roughly the same stage and die there again and again. So yeah, on the fence about it, but if you want to try it out, it's like super cheap. I forget the price, but you know, most of these games for this, you know, RABHAGA series are going to be less than $30. Alright, moving on to Shape of Dreams. This one's, I gotta tell you, I'm very addicted to this game. It's just so damn good. I like the gameplay mechanics. All the characters feel very, very unique. Same for like the weapons and the abilities that they have. They all serve their own purpose, but you can fine-tune your build by... I mean, you can kind of fine-tune your build. It still takes a little bit of luck because the power-ups you do get are randomly generated, so you're not going to get like the same, you know, ability all the time. But over the course of a run, you should be able to like put something together that's going to be like super powerful. You can do co-op up to 4 players. And the art and music for this game are very, very good. I like it so much. However, with the bosses in this game, they can feel a little too powerful at times. Yeah, I'm finding it kind of hard to play even on the normal difficulty. Maybe it's just because I'm not like that good at this particular game. Like, I'm kind of getting a little bit better every time, but like, it can be a little challenging. And you gotta really know how to kite and bait the bosses in. And that seems to be kind of working for me. But with the rest of the game, like the longer you play it in a run, you do feel pretty empowered. Over time, you do feel like you're like the strongest thing in the universe. The only thing is that the bosses can be a little crazy to fight. As far as like healing goes and health recovery, there are plenty of chances to heal up through some of the shrines. There's also a few abilities that will heal you as well. So it's not like the end of the world if you take damage. You will have opportunities to heal. Sometimes they'll give you plenty of chances, like 3 chances to heal in one single stage. Or one node. Because like Slay the Spire, it also has kind of like that decision tree in the map that you can like choose where to go. And you can go back and forward between nodes too, unlike Slay the Spire. As far as meta progression goes, there's, at least from what I can tell so far, there's no like second chance at life kind of perks, so once you're dead, you're dead. So that's something to consider, just like, you know, accessibility for the game. With this game, there are a few different difficulty levels. As far as like gathering resources and stuff for the difficulty levels, there's no negative aspects about it. The only thing that does change between the difficulty levels is like the amount of health that each enemy gets. They get shielding armor, and in some instances, the higher you go, there's a chance they'll use their more unique abilities more often. So I think that's a great way to make the game, you know, you are catering to the super hardcore speedrunners, you're catering to the kind of player base where like they want to play the hardest difficulty levels, but then they also cater to players that are kind of just looking to chill a little bit, or, you know, people like me they have a little hard time, mastering the game. So I'm like that. I have a little hard time mastering the game, but I find it very nice that they have the option to, scale the difficulty. Not a lot of games have that. So I'd say, just like, Rogue Genesia, this game is very accessible in terms of like difficulty and challenge. Okay. Next one is Death Must Die. This one feels kind of like you're playing Diablo 2. We're talking about the OG Diablo 2 and not Diablo 2 Remastered. That kind of like graphics. The music, it's a little soft, but once you hear it, it is actually pretty good. I mean, like, for all these games that I've played for the RABHAGA series, the music's really, really good. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. But for like Death Must Die, it's also really great. Same thing with the art. I really like the style of art that they chose. So it kind of reminds me of playing old school Diablo 2. Like, I played a ton of that when I was a kid. Maybe a little too much. This game is also pretty easy to pick up, but I do have to say that the boss fights can be pretty challenging. So just kind of go in with that in mind and do your best to kite them. I think that's the general way to deal with bosses and difficult creatures, right? One thing I do want to mention is that I haven't seen too many ways to heal up in this game. They're very far and few in between, and I haven't really noticed any kind of like meta progression thing. There might be something there, but I'm not sure how it works. I still haven't figured it out. I mean, you can bring back loot that you pick up during the run, and then you can use that to gear up your character, like weapons, rings, helmets, armor, boots, belts, things like that. But they only provide like a small kind of buff. So yeah. With this game, it's kind of like Risk of Rain 2, where it's heavily encouraged that you move around the map to pick up perks and stuff. So yeah, you kind of need a balance between like killing the monsters, picking up the XP, and moving around a lot. Something I highly recommend too, because there's a lot of things that you can pick up to buff your character, like move faster, get more health, sometimes heal. So yeah. As far as the actual abilities go that you can pick up, they all feel pretty good. They feel pretty empowering. However, each specific kind of ability falls into certain themes. Like, there's gonna always be one for like dashing. So like for this game, you pick up perks from different gods, similar to how Hades and Hades 2 is. There's multiple gods to give different things, but they're all kind of themed around dodge stuff, AoE, things like that. And it doesn't feel like too varied, or like it doesn't feel distinct. It's kind of like more of the same. It's just, if you're not dealing fire damage, you're dealing cold damage. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's like the one downfall of this game. But nothing's ever truly perfect. This is still something that might be nice to try out. I think that's all I had for that one. extremely powerful capybaras. So if you're looking for something extremely chill and easy to play that you can just melt your brain on, this is the game you want to play. The music's okay. The art is gorgeous. It's very cutesy. However, the stage that you play on, it's very small. And sometimes the number of enemies that pop up on the screen, well, it can kind of get overwhelming. Because the area is small and they just spawn too much sometimes. So this kind of plays like your average Vampire Survivors, kind of game. You got the meta progression, you got, a couple of characters unlocked. This one only has like 4 altogether, I think. Each kind of have like their own like play style, but the perks that you can pick up, it kind of makes it all feel the same though. That's the downfall of this game. And some of the perks that you can get through the meta progression don't feel useful at all. Some of them are, I think, from what I can tell, is just a visual effects, and it doesn't have any bearing on gameplay mechanic. So yeah, this one I wouldn't really play it too much. There's better games out there than this one. But it's good to try out if you just want to, burn a little bit of time. Warhammer Vermintide 2, Chaos Waste. So you're thinking Warhammer Vermintide 2 is not a roguelite game. Yes and no. If you go to the Chaos Waste mode, then yes, it's a roguelite. They built a separate game mode where you take a character and then you equip the most basic version of a weapon that you have in your inventory. So if you have the glaive for Cuillin, it'll give you like the base version of it, and it'll just have like no perks, no boons, nothing. Just a normal common item. And then during the course of a run, you pick up these coins, and you spend these coins to buy better versions of your melee and ranged weapon. And if you save up enough, you can buy different perks that can either support you as a single player, or you can buy a perk that'll help the team. And these coins that you collect, anything that you don't spend, even upon death, you save them. It's just automatically saved for you. So you can like bank a lot of them and then use it all at once if you want to on the next round. So this gameplay loop is pretty entertaining, it's pretty fun. It's just like playing the regular campaign missions, the story bits, except that the weapon progression is the roguelite version of it. Yeah. As far as I can tell, I don't see meta progression. Maybe there is, and I just haven't noticed it, but that's just what I've seen so far. And each run that you do, there's a chance that you get different modifiers to make it feel not as challenging, and it cranks it all the way up to like what the hell's going on challenging. Gameplay loop is tight and entertaining, you can't go wrong with it. This is great for any kind of like fantasy Warhammer fan. You can smash a Skaven rat man in the face. You can't go wrong with that. And just like the base game itself, it's up to 4-player co-op. The only thing though is like each person will need to use a unique hero, so you can't have 2 Cuillins, you can't have 2 Salt Spires, you can't have 2 Siennas. Every person needs to play a different character. That's the only downfall. So yeah, I think this is something worth trying. I mean, this game goes on sale all the time, down to like, single digits. Same thing with the DLCs. There's a lot of different DLCs for this game. It expands on like story, so you get new like campaign missions. There's also DLCs for all the characters, so you get like one more extra class. Those ones are pretty fun. Worth checking out. Halls of Torment. Alright, so this one kind of looks like and plays like Diablo 1. Down to kind of like the movement, the graphics, and the music, and the voice acting. There's actually voice acting in this game. And it really does remind me of like Diablo 1 / Diablo 2. So if you're feeling nostalgic and you want to play something similar to it but different, this might be the game you want to play. However, I did get pretty bored with this game once I unlocked all the different stages. It's fun and entertaining up to a certain point, but then like the stages kind of felt boring to me after a while. There isn't enough run variety, there isn't enough things changing in the gameplay loop to make me want to stay and play this game. However, the heroes that you can play in this game all do feel different. They have their own weapon that they start with, their passives, they do feel pretty different. For example, some will deal more damage, while some can deal better AoE attacks, and some will have like higher health regen than other classes. And every time you play a run, you do have the option to like pick up loot and other bits of gear. And the only way to send it back up is you gotta go to a well, and then you have that person on the other side of the well pull it back up for you. It's pretty limited though. You can only send up like 2 things at a time, so if like, you have a lot of good loot on you, then you really gotta pick and choose the 2 things you want to send up. And when you finish a run, you can go to the merchant and you can buy it, and then that'll be part of like the loadout that you can like set up for your characters when you play. So it's kind of interesting way to do it. It sucks though because it really limits how much you can bring back at one time. Not a big fan of that. I'm more of a fan of like how they did it for Death Must Die, so anything in your inventory, you take it back with you. Not in Halls of Torment though. Alright, so there's a couple more things. Some of the stages, especially when you play the ones that you unlock later down the line, they can feel pretty difficult. Like the difficulty spike, I think, is pretty noticeable. The enemies become big like damage sponges, and they just spawn in a lot more on some stages than some other ones do. So yeah, you can be like hitting it and hitting it and hitting it and it just won't die. That kind of just threw me off on the game, and I didn't really want to play it any longer after that, because I just felt like fighting the brutes from Halo 2. Those goddamn things are like bullet sponges that just, those little turds just wouldn't die basically. So it kind of gave me flashbacks of that, and I didn't really want to play it too much anymore. Yeah. Other than that though, I don't think I can recommend playing this game. It's cheap. Gameplay loop doesn't feel very good after a while. It kind of dies off after like maybe 10-15 hours, and it gets really boring. That's all I got. Soulstone Survivors. I gotta mention this thing up front. The screen fills up fast with projectiles and monsters and colors. There's gonna be a ton of stuff flying in the screen, which can get nauseating. So again, like Mortal Sin, if you do have some issues with a bunch of stuff flying around, it's gonna be a little overwhelming, and I wouldn't recommend playing this game because it gets to the point where you can't even see where your character is, and you might run into a projectile, and everything's like big and flashy. Like you can turn it down, like all the different like projectiles and stuff, but then it kind of makes the game feel empty. I don't know, it's weird. I just want to throw that out there. If you are someone that has those kind of issues like me, you probably don't want to play it for too long or at all. With this game, there's actually a lot of characters to unlock. Can't remember like the certain criteria to do it, but you do get the chance to play with a lot of different characters. However, like they do get like, you know, their own starting weapon, but like the perks and stuff that you can pick up in the game while you're, you know, in a run, you know, the abilities. In the end, it doesn't matter what character you choose, it all kind of boils down to like the same meta builds over and over again. Which to me, it's not that fun. I like to have variety of things being distinct and unique. A great example of that would be, where is that game? Shape of Dreams, Risk-A-Rain 2, Vampire Survivors, HoloCure. You know, all those games, their characters and the, you know, the items that they have feel extremely unique. And not one game will always be the same. With Soulstone Survivors, it's the opposite. Every game is going to kind of feel the same, which kind of is boring. What's also not helping it is the extremely cartoony look. If you are into that kind of thing, then this might be something you're interested in. But this kind of reminds me of like the old Flash games I used to play in the late 90s, early 2000s, you know, stuff like RuneScape. But like, RuneScape did it good. Soulstone Survivors took it to the extreme. Now, I'm not saying RuneScape is bad. RuneScape is still pretty good. Graphics are still pretty good, but like, Soulstone Survivors takes it to the next level with the cartooniness. It's like American cartoon animation versus Japanese anime. You can tell the difference. So yeah, not a big fan of the art in this game. And the music, it's just one track playing over and over again of someone just going, yelling and going, oh, yeah, something like that. It gets annoying as hell. Alright. So the art's not going in his favor, the music's not going in his favor. The gameplay loop and the character designs and not being interesting is not going in its favor. Okay. In this game, there is actually a ton of resource farming that you need to do to unlock the weapons that you can start with. And I think to some degree, you also need to do the same thing for meta progression. It's a little too much. So, you know, with that said, I also have to mention that even with the resource farming, it says to go here to collect it, but when you go there to collect it, it never spawns. So it's like, well, what the hell then? I'm never gonna unlock this, you know, this item. So yeah, this one isn't looking very good. And then when you're playing the actual game itself, sometimes you can get one hit killed out of nowhere because you just can't see not pristine because every pixel is jam-packed into the game. Yeah. I mean, it's fun for like maybe a few weeks, but then when you get to the grinding and you realize that, you know, the level design, the character design, the weapon design, it's like all really kind of the same. It falls really flat and the fun starts to fall off. So would I recommend Soulstone Survivors? No, I would not recommend it. Same thing with Halls of Torment. I wouldn't recommend it. Just they're not very good in the long run. Alright, next one is Slay the Spire. So, you know, if you're looking for something that's like extremely chill, that kind of feels like Magic the Gathering, then this is probably the game you want to try. Alright. So the art in this game also reminds me of like the Flash games I played as a kid in the early 2000s and late 90s. I know I said it before, but they do it in a good way, unlike you know, I hate to say it, I'm gonna pick on Soulstone Survivors a little bit, but it's like it's better than Soulstone Survivors. It has the same kind of vibes, but the art in here is much better. I dig it. The music is also pretty good. The gameplay, when I played it, I played it once for the channel, and I've played it several times off camera just to get a feel for it. It feels very good. You only get, I think, like 4 characters to play with, but from what I can tell, each character has like their own unique way to play. So it's pretty fun. You don't have to like think too hard about like what to do. I kind of like to think of this as like playing chess, where you kind of plan things out, try to, you know, I gotta say, like, try to determine what the enemy is going to do, and then work around it and even counter it. Or you could kind of think of it like, the hell was that outside? Something exploding. Okay. Sorry about that distraction. You can also kind of think about it as like you're playing a game of Magic. So that's that. It's kind of like that, except different. Let's see, what else I had on my list here. Ah, yes. The decision tree. So when you are playing this game, you load it up and you get to the stage selection. You'll be presented with a map, and then you kind of see like the sprawling tree and with a bunch of different nodes on it. Sometimes you'll be presented with options to fight an enemy, rest and recover, fight an elite enemy, things like that, right? So that's kind of like how the progression is ran in this game when you're in a run. And also I feel like the difficulty of the monsters steadily ramp up the further you get in a run. So it's not like any sudden spikes in difficulty. It's a gradual ramp up. This game is also, you know, a very good deck builder game where, you know, you not only need to manage the cards that you're pulling in to build your deck, but you also need to manage your action points. So by default, you only get 3, if I recall that correctly. And you gotta balance the different types of actions you can do. Whereas it's gonna be like, you know, attack, defense, you know, blocking attack, and recovering your health. So there's a lot of like kind of tactical things you can't think about, or you can kind of like chill a little bit more and kind of like, you know, putz around a little bit, not like have to be super aggro with this game. So yeah. Oh yeah, one more thing, I'm just looking at my notes. This game does give you lots of opportunities to recover health, unlike some of the other games, like, you know, Death Must Die. It gives you lots of chances to rest and gain new abilities. So, would I recommend this game? Yes, I do. It's very fun, easy to pick up, not too hard to master, and you don't have to, like, you know, be a sweat with this game. That's a positive. 5 more minutes, the demo. Alright, so this one's unique. It's a demo, but I felt like it was in a state where you can get a pretty good preview of what the, you know, game will feel like when it reaches 1.0. So this is very similar to Slay the Spire. Things are set up very, very similarly to it. However, their shtick is that they have a lot of Easter eggs and stuff to games that the developers played, you know, in their childhood. And there's a lot of pop culture references. Like one of them is going to be, for example, from the Walking Dead TV show. I won't say what it is though, because I don't want to spoil it. But if you try the demo and you watch my video of it, you might get it. So lots of things like that. The same can be said of like the characters that they made for the game. The 2 starting characters are gonna feel like you've seen them before. But I'll leave that up to you to find that out. So yeah. The art and music are really, really nice. However, the thing with the demo is that sometimes the music cuts out really hard. Like it'll be like sung in silence and then it comes back. But you know, that's not a big problem. That's something I'm pretty sure is going to be fixed when it gets to 1.0. So not a big deal. The cool thing about this game though that sets it apart from Slay the Spire is that they give you the option to copy cards and reduce their cost. I think Slay the Spire does have a reduced cost ability, but so far I haven't seen one that actually lets you copy a card. So if you found a card that you really, really like, for example, something that costs 0 action points, but can do a ton of damage, you can copy that. You get some water. Oh, thank God it wasn't there. So yeah. What was I saying? Cards, copy, yep. As far as the character goes, just like Slay the Spire, they all have like their own uniqueness to them. Like they feel distinct. They don't feel like they play the same as each other. So I think that's a really good positive thing for the game. Unlike, you know, I hate to say it, Soulstone Survivors, it all feels the same in that game. Not in this one. Everything feels different, which is good. Variety is the spice of life. Let's see. Oh yes, in this game you can actually target yourself for your own attack. I was just kind of experimenting with that, and I found out that you can actually hit yourself. Yeah, watch out! Don't misclick on yourself. You're gonna hurt yourself that way. But the last thing I want to mention is that the elite and boss monsters that you fight in here, they don't feel overly oppressive in terms of like damage and health. So the steady progression in difficulty also applies to the elite and bosses. But even when you fight them, it's not like, you know, it's the end of the world feeling. You still have you will still have the feeling of being hopeful that you can defeat them. So yeah, you know what I mean. Like some games, like you fight a boss monster, and you think, like, what the hell were the devs doing? Right? There's no way to defeat this thing. It's too healthy, hit too hard. Nah. In this game, it's very manageable. You just need to figure out what their quirk is and take advantage of it. Hades. Alright. So, you know, this was very, very popular. The great story, great art, very good music. Gameplay loop is very good. It's accessible for a lot of people. I say accessible because they allow you to enable what they call God mode, which essentially is that when you first start out, you get very high damage resistance, but gradually, the more times that you die, it'll just reduce a little bit every time that you die in a run. Well, not die in a run, but like when you fail a run. And eventually it falls down to a flat number that won't go any lower. So that will help players like me that aren't very good at these games get a feel for the gameplay mechanics, the attack patterns, and then from what I understand about this, it will give you that experience to observe these things and eventually get better over time a little bit easier. Whereas if you don't have it on, or when you have it off, you run the chance of dying to the same spot, you know, 10, 15, 20 times, right? Compared to having God mode on, maybe just several times. That way you can also experience the story, because there's a lot of story elements in this game. Like the more times that you complete a run successfully, you get more story. And having the God mode on will allow you to get there a little bit easier, so you can experience the story. So that's why I say this is a very accessible game. As far as the abilities and powers that you can pick up in this game, it feels really good. Everything feels unique, everything feels different, everything has its own kind of flavor, and it's fun. It's a fun game to play. The same thing about the uniqueness and the distinctness can be applied to the weapons. So the starting character that you'll be playing with for the end of time is Zagreus. And Zagreus will have different weapons, like a sword, a rifle of all things, like a cannon kind of thing, punching gauntlets. So you do get like quite a few weapons to work with, and each one plays very differently. So there's enough variety in there to like keep changing things up, if you so choose to. As far as the boss fights go, they feel pretty good. They can be a little challenging at first, but after you analyze and remember the attack patterns, not too big of a deal. It just comes down to reaction time at that point, which I'm still kind of bad at. There's one downside to this game. There's not a lot of healing in this game. You do get a few chances to gain extra life. Like, you die, then you get another chance to fight again. But the actual healing is very far and in between. You do get like these wells to heal up on after you defeat a boss. As far as like abilities go, I think there's only like one ability that will allow you to recover health. Not a lot of ways to regain life, right? So there is a standard ending when you beat the big guy himself one time, and then I think after you beat him 10 times, it's a secret ending. So yeah. So yeah. Oh yes, before I forget, for the abilities that you can get, if you offer the owner of said ability a gift, then they'll give you this item that you can equip later on. So when you equip it, they'll give you a higher chance of getting abilities from that same person. So, for example, if you like reflecting attacks back at enemies, that's going to come from Athena. Pretty sure it's from Athena. And then if you offer her a gift, then she'll drop an item for you, and then when you equip it and you start another run, you'll get a chance to pick up a random ability from Athena. So this kind of helps you target a build to build around. So, is this a game I would recommend? 100% agree with a lot of people on this one. It's going to be a yes. Very good game, highly recommend. The last one that I'm going to do a quick review on is Hades 2, the sequel to Hades. Just like Hades, the music, art is just really good. It's so good. I just like am blown away every time I load it up. So everything about Hades that is good is also in Hades 2, except that they build on a lot more content for this game. So you can like farm like items and resources. You can use that to further empower Melinoe, which is the main protagonist now in this game. It's going to be his little sister, and you can power up through those meta progression things that you can grab. Well, let me backtrack that. Not meta progression, but you can empower her through those resources that you collect. That'll give her a couple of extra passives here and there, like second life, getting some extra, X amount of percentage damage, little things like that to help you fight your way through the different stages. Just like Hades 1, you get a bunch of different weapons. They all feel very unique, very distinct. The gameplay loop itself is actually really fun. It's still like the same kind of setup, like you go through the stage, sometimes you'll fight an elite, and then eventually you fight the boss. Now I'm kind of stuck fighting the same third stage boss. It's just a little difficult for me, but I think just like the first game, you just need to analyze the attack pattern and then work on your reaction time. It still has God mode for this game, so it's still very, very accessible. I have actually not turned that on yet, and so far I think I'm doing pretty good so far in terms of like progression. I feel like I'm getting better a little bit every time. Not getting stuck too much. Yeah. There is a new kind of gameplay mechanic in this one. It's called armor. Now in the first game, there was armor, but not for Zagreus. But in Hades 2, Melinoe has a chance to gain armor. And if RNG is in your favor, you can get an ability to replenish your armor. And it kind of adds on extra life for you, essentially. So it's a nice mechanic, very useful to grab if you can find it, and oh yeah, the whole gift giving thing is also in this game too. So if you like certain abilities from a specific god, you can, equip their item and then you get a chance of getting a random ability from them. So yeah, that is Hades 2. I haven't progressed too far yet, but would I recommend this game? 100% I would recommend this game. It's so good. Story is so good. Music is so good. Gameplay loop is so good. Okay? Can't say that enough. It's so good. Okay, maybe that's a little too much. But you get the idea, right? It's a good game. Cheap too. Also indie developer. All the games I've played for this series are all indie developers. Maybe, except maybe not for Vermintide 2. I'm not 100% sure. But definitely the rest of these are all indie companies. Indie companies is like the way of the future. Screw the AAA companies. They're all greedy and they make crap games, right? So yeah, that's my gameplay review for all the different games I've played for the RABHAGA series. The games I plan to continue playing are Wander Stars, definitely Shape of Dreams, I can't stop playing that. A little bit Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, definitely going to be playing more of Hades too. And Rogue Genesia, I plan to play that too. A lot of people seem to watch that. I've been getting quite good views on that, so I'm just going to continue playing that. Slay the Spire, that's going to be a really good one, and a little bit of Death Must Die. So yeah, that's all there is to it. If you play a game and you think I should try it out, let me know. I have a very fixed income, so I might not be able to buy it right away. So I'm going to have to put it on my wish list. And if it's on sale, I might buy it and try it out. Then I'll try and make a video for it. But that is all, folks. Thanks for listening to this. I hope you enjoyed this one. And maybe if you haven't tried any of these games out yet, I hope you try them out. I'm not sponsored in any way to say that. But just games I've found interesting and fun. But before you go, I greatly appreciate it if you could help me out by liking the video, commenting on the video. Let me know if you had a game that you thought was really fun and interesting. And if you even played any of these games, let me know what you thought of it. But importantly, I hope that you can subscribe to the channel. All these things will help with the algorithm say, hey, Random Game Channel is something really interesting and fun to watch. That's all for me now, folks. I hope you have a good one. Hope you stay safe and well in these crazy times that we're living in. Till next time, folks, I will catch you all later. Peace out, homies.